Hello everyone. Welcome back to Fluent English. We're so happy you're here with us today. Whether you're listening on your way to work, while studying, or just relaxing at home, thank you for spending some time with us.
Hey everyone, it's great to have you with us again. I don't know about you, but I've been hearing from so many English learners lately who say the same thing. My English isn't good enough.
Oh wow, yes. I hear that all the time too. And honestly, it makes me a little sad because many of those learners can already communicate really well. They understand conversations, they can express their ideas, and they can have meaningful discussions. But somehow, they still don't believe in themselves.
Exactly, that's why today's topic is so important. We're talking about something that affects almost every English learner at some point, self-doubt.
That's right. Today's episode is called Stop Doubting Your English, You're Better Than You Think. And by the end of this episode, you'll have more confidence, you'll understand why you might be underestimating your English skills, and you'll learn practical ways to communicate more naturally.
We'll also share common situations where learners think they're making mistakes when they're actually doing pretty well. Sometimes the biggest problem isn't your English, it's your confidence.
That's such a good point. And before we continue, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt nervous speaking English even though you knew what you wanted to say? Tell us in the comments. We'd really love to know.
And be honest, we know we're not the only ones who have felt nervous before. Even native speakers sometimes struggle to find the right words.
Absolutely. Also, if you're enjoying Fluent English and you want more practical English lessons like this, don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who's learning English too.
Great, now let's jump into today's lesson and start building your confidence one step at a time.
One of the biggest reasons learners doubt themselves is because they think good English means perfect English. But that's not true at all. In real life, communication matters more than perfection.
Exactly, let's start with a very simple idea. The goal of language is communication. If people understand your message, you're already succeeding.
Here's a basic formula we want you to remember. Subject plus verb plus object. For example, I speak English. She watches movies. They study every day. These are simple sentences, but they're powerful because they communicate a clear idea.
Let me give you a few more examples. I drink coffee every morning. My brother plays soccer on weekends. We watch English videos online. She reads books before bed. They learn new vocabulary every day. All of these sentences are simple, clear, and useful.
And here's something interesting. Many learners can already make sentences like these without any problem. But then they think, my English is terrible.
Meanwhile, they're communicating successfully.
Exactly, let me share a personal example. A friend once told me, my English is bad. Then she spent 10 minutes explaining her travel experience in English. Sure, she made a few grammar mistakes, but I understood everything she said.
That's such a common situation. Sometimes learners focus on the 2 mistakes they made and completely ignore the 98 things they said correctly.
Have you ever done that?
I definitely have. When I was learning another language, I'd remember one mistake for days and forget all the successful conversations I had.
That's why confidence matters. Instead of asking yourself, was my English perfect? Ask yourself, did people understand me?
That's a much healthier question.
Now let's talk about negative forms because learners often worry about them. The positive sentence, I understand English. The negative sentence, I don't understand English. Positive, she likes speaking English. Negative, she doesn't like speaking English. Notice the structure, subject plus don't or doesn't plus base verb.
Let's practice together. I don't speak French. He doesn't work on Sundays. We don't watch television every day. She doesn't drink coffee. Simple and useful.
And remember, native speakers use simple structures all the time. Not every sentence needs to sound academic or advanced.
That's true. Sometimes learners think they need complicated vocabulary to sound intelligent.
But often simple English sounds more natural.
Let me ask our listeners a few questions. Can you introduce yourself in English? Can you describe your daily routine? Can you tell someone about your favorite food? Can you explain what you did yesterday? If your answer is yes, congratulations. You're already using English successfully.
Great questions. And if you can answer even some of those questions, you're making progress.
Here's a practice challenge. Pause for a moment and say 3 sentences about your day. Maybe, I woke up early, I had breakfast, I listened to a podcast. That's English communication right there.
And we'd love to see your examples. Write 3 simple English sentences about your day in the comments. Don't worry about perfection.
Remember, communication comes first. Accuracy improves over time.
Another thing learners forget is that mistakes are part of learning. Children learning their first language make thousands of mistakes.
Thousands.
Yet nobody expects them to be perfect immediately. So why should you expect perfection from yourself?
You shouldn't. Learning takes time.
Exactly. Focus on progress, not perfection.
So let's quickly summarize this section. Simple English is powerful. Communication matters more than perfection. Use basic sentence structures confidently, and don't let small mistakes convince you that your English isn't good. Chances are you're doing much better than you think.
Now that we've talked about why communication is more important than perfection, let's build on that idea. In this section, we're going to look at something that confident English speakers do very well. They keep the conversation moving, even when they don't know every word.
That's such an important skill. Many learners think they need perfect vocabulary before they can speak, but native speakers don't always use perfect words either. Sometimes they explain, describe, or use simpler language.
Exactly. Let's imagine you forget the word umbrella. Does the conversation have to stop?
Not at all. You could say it's the thing you use when it rains.
And people will probably understand immediately.
This skill is called paraphrasing. It means expressing the same idea using different words.
And honestly, it's one of the most useful communication skills you can develop.
Let's look at a few examples. Instead of saying, I forgot the word, you can say, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's used for. Instead of stopping completely, you keep communicating.
Here's another example. Imagine you're talking about a microwave but forget the word. You might say, it's the machine in the kitchen that heats food quickly.
That's perfect. The goal isn't perfect vocabulary. The goal is successful communication.
Let's demonstrate a quick conversation. I want to describe something, but I forgot the word. It's a machine. People use it to clean clothes.
A washing machine.
Exactly.
Here's another one. It's something you wear on your feet when you exercise.
Running shoes.
Right, notice that communication still happens.
That's why you shouldn't panic when you forget vocabulary.
Now let's compare formal and informal ways to handle these situations. Informal, what's that word again? Formal, I can't remember the exact term. Informal, I forgot the word. Formal, I'm having trouble recalling the word.
Both versions are correct. The choice depends on the situation.
Most daily conversations use the informal versions.
Let's do a quick practice activity. Imagine you forget these words. Helmet, passport, calculator. How would you describe them?
Try answering out loud right now. A helmet is something you wear on your head for protection. A passport is a document used for international travel. A calculator is a device used for mathematical calculations.
Great job if you tried those. And here's another challenge. Think of one object in your room and describe it without saying its name.
That's excellent speaking practice.
Now let's share 3 practical tips. First, don't apologize too much. Many learners say, sorry, my English is terrible.
Even when their English is actually pretty good.
Second, focus on the message. Ask yourself, did the listener understand me?
Not, did I speak perfectly?
Third, keep talking. A small mistake doesn't end the conversation.
Most listeners care much more about your ideas than your grammar.
We'd love another comment from you. Tell us about a time when you successfully communicated in English, even though you didn't know every word.
That's a great reminder that communication skills grow through experience.
Another confidence booster is recognizing what you already know. Many learners focus on missing vocabulary.
But they forget the thousands of words they already understand.
Exactly. If you know 2,000 words, celebrate those 2,000 words.
Don't spend all your energy worrying about the next 100.
The more you focus on progress, the more confident you'll become.
Let's review this section. Strong communicators don't stop when they forget a word. They paraphrase, describe, simplify, and keep the conversation moving. Confidence often comes from using what you already know instead of worrying about what you don't know.
Let's move on to another powerful idea. In this section, we're going to talk about sounding natural, not perfect.
Oh, I love this topic because many learners think native speakers always use complete, textbook-style sentences.
But real conversations are much more relaxed.
Exactly, for example, a textbook might teach, yes, I would like a cup of coffee.
But in everyday conversation, people often say, yeah, I'd like a coffee.
Both are correct.
Here's another example. Textbook style, I do not know. Natural conversation, I don't know.
Native speakers use contractions constantly.
That's why it's important to become comfortable with them.
Let's look at some everyday situations. A friend asks if you're busy. Formal, I am occupied at the moment. Natural, I'm busy right now.
A coworker asks if you understand. Formal, I understand completely. Natural, yeah, I get it.
Notice that shorter doesn't mean worse.
Sometimes shorter sounds more natural.
Let's talk about politeness too. Natural English isn't only about vocabulary, it's also about tone.
Absolutely. Compare these. Give me the menu. Could I see the menu, please?
The second one sounds much friendlier.
Another example, move your car. Could you move your car, please?
Same meaning, different tone.
Here's a useful structure. Could you plus base verb plus please? Could you help me? Could you explain that again? Could you repeat that?
Those phrases are extremely useful in daily life.
Let's do a mini practice. I'll say a direct sentence. You make it more polite. Ready? Open the window.
Could you open the window, please?
Excellent. Tell me again.
Could you tell me again, please?
Great job. Now listeners, try one. Bring me some water. How would you make that more polite?
Hopefully you said, could you bring me some water, please?
Another way to sound natural is using common expressions. For example, no problem. Sounds good. That makes sense. I'm not sure.
Native speakers use these expressions every day.
And here's a speaking challenge. Use one of those expressions today in an English conversation.
Even if it's just speaking to yourself, practice helps.
We'd love to see another example in the comments. Write one natural English expression you already use confidently.
That's a great way to encourage each other.
Remember, sounding natural comes from exposure and practice, not perfection.
Listen to conversations, notice common phrases, and don't be afraid to use simple language.
The more natural input you receive, the more natural your output becomes.
Let's wrap up this section. Natural English is often simple English. Use contractions, pay attention to tone, practice polite structures, and focus on communication instead of trying to sound perfect every time.
Before we move into our final wrap-up, let's talk about something every English learner experiences: mistakes. And honestly, Mateo, I've made plenty of mistakes while learning languages.
Oh, me too. More than I can count. Sometimes I'd spend 5 minutes worrying about one tiny mistake while completely forgetting that I had a successful conversation.
Exactly. That's why we want to normalize mistakes today. Mistakes aren't proof that your English is bad. They're proof that you're using English.
That's a great way to think about it. So let's look at some common mistakes learners make when they underestimate their English abilities.
Mistake number 1. Believing that one grammar mistake ruins the entire conversation.
Here's an example. Incorrect thinking. I said one verb incorrectly, so my English is terrible. Better thinking. I made one mistake, but people still understood me.
The second version is much closer to reality. Communication isn't a test where one mistake means failure.
Exactly. Most conversations contain hundreds of words. One small error doesn't cancel everything else you said correctly.
Mistake number 2. Translating every sentence from your native language before speaking.
Let's compare less natural. I am having in my mind the idea that, more natural, I think that.
Sometimes learners create long, complicated sentences because they're translating directly.
But English often prefers shorter, simpler expressions.
And here's why this happens. Your brain is trying to process two languages at the same time.
Which is actually impressive when you think about it.
Very impressive.
A better approach is to focus on simple English you already know.
Mistake number 3. Thinking you must know every word.
Here's an example. A learner forgets one vocabulary word and suddenly says, I can't speak English.
Which is funny, because they just said that sentence in English.
Exactly.
A better alternative is, I forgot that word, or I don't know that word yet.
Those statements are much more accurate.
Mistake number 4. Apologizing constantly.
This one is so common. Many learners begin every conversation with, sorry, my English is very bad.
Then they speak clearly for 10 minutes.
Right, instead try saying, I'm still learning English, or simply start speaking.
Most people are already impressed that you're communicating in another language.
Let's look at some incorrect and correct examples side by side. Incorrect, my English is horrible. Better, my English is improving. Incorrect, I always make mistakes. Better, sometimes I make mistakes.
That small word change matters. Always sounds permanent. Sometimes sounds realistic.
Here's another one. Incorrect, I can't speak English. Better, I'm still developing my speaking skills.
Notice how much more accurate that is.
Let's practice together. I'll give you a negative thought. Try changing it into a growth mindset statement.
First one, my pronunciation isn't perfect.
Better version, my pronunciation is getting better every day.
Great second one, I speak too slowly.
Better version, I'm becoming more fluent with practice.
Excellent third one, I don't know enough vocabulary.
Better version, I'm learning new vocabulary every week.
See the difference?
Those statements encourage progress instead of discouraging it.
And let's be honest, some mistakes can be funny. I once heard a learner say, I'm married to coffee.
That's amazing.
They meant, I'm addicted to coffee.
The sentence wasn't correct, but everyone understood the message.
And it became a memorable learning moment.
Exactly, funny mistakes often become the lessons we remember best.
Here's a practice challenge for our listeners. Think of one English mistake you've made recently. Write it in the comments, and then write the corrected version.
That's a fantastic exercise.
And remember, mistakes are normal. Every fluent speaker, every teacher, and every language learner has made them.
Absolutely, the goal isn't to avoid every mistake. The goal is to keep communicating, keep learning, and keep growing. That's how real progress happens.
Now it's time for a fun activity. We're going to do a choose the correct sentence challenge.
This is a great way to test your instincts and build confidence.
Situation number 1. You're meeting someone for the first time. Option A, nice to meet you. Option B, happy meeting you. Which sounds more natural?
The best choice is option A, nice to meet you. Native speakers use this expression all the time.
Situation number 2. Your friend thanks you for helping. Option A, no problem. Option B, it was not a problem occurrence.
Definitely option A, it's short, natural, and commonly used.
Situation number 3. You don't understand what someone said. Option A, could you repeat that please? Option B, speak again your words.
Option A wins again, it's polite, natural, and very useful.
Situation number 4. Someone invites you to dinner. Option A, that sounds great. Option B, I accept this invitation with happiness.
While option B is understandable, option A sounds much more natural in everyday conversation.
Situation number 5. You're expressing an opinion. Option A, I think you're right. Option B, I possess the thought that you are right.
Definitely option A, simple English is often the most natural English.
That's one of the biggest lessons from today's episode.
Absolutely, now let's add a few variations. Casual, sounds good. More formal, that sounds excellent. Casual, can you help me? More formal, could you help me please?
Both versions are correct. The context determines which one sounds best.
That's why exposure to real conversations is so valuable.
Here's your final speaking challenge. Choose one situation from today's practice and create your own response. Say it out loud. Then write it in the comments if you'd like to share it with the Fluent English community.
And don't spend 10 minutes trying to make it perfect. Focus on expressing your idea clearly.
That's exactly how confidence grows.
Remember, real conversations aren't about perfect grammar, perfect vocabulary, or perfect pronunciation. They're about connecting with people and sharing ideas. The more you practice, the more natural English will feel.
Wow, we've covered a lot in today's episode, and I hope you're feeling much more confident about your English than you did at the beginning.
Me too. This has been such an important conversation because confidence is something many learners struggle with, even when their English is already quite strong.
Let's quickly review what we learned today. First, communication matters more than perfection. If people understand your message, you're already succeeding. Second, simple English is powerful English. You don't need complicated vocabulary or advanced grammar to have meaningful conversations. Third, confidence grows when you focus on progress instead of mistakes.
And we explored 3 major concepts throughout today's lesson. Number 1, using simple sentence structures confidently and focusing on communication. Number 2, keeping conversations going by paraphrasing and describing things when you don't know a specific word. Number 3, sounding more natural through common expressions, contractions, and polite everyday English.
We also talked about common mistakes learners make when judging their own abilities. Many people focus on one small error and ignore all the things they did correctly.
That's such an important point. Imagine a conversation where you successfully communicate 20 ideas but make 2 small mistakes. That's still a successful conversation.
Absolutely. And if there's one thing we want you to remember from today's episode, it's this. Don't let perfection stop you from communicating. Speak, practice, make mistakes, learn, keep going.
Because that's exactly how fluency develops, not through perfection, through consistent use.
We'd love to hear from you before you go. What's one thing you learned from today's episode? What's one area of English where you feel more confident now? Tell us in the comments below.
And here's another question for you. What is something you can already do in English today that you couldn't do 6 months ago? Take a moment to think about that.
That's a powerful exercise because it helps you recognize your progress. Sometimes we're so focused on where we want to go that we forget how far we've already come.
Exactly. And every conversation, every new word, every mistake, and every practice session is helping you move forward.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please give it a like, share it with a friend who's learning English, and subscribe to Fluent English for more practical lessons that help you communicate naturally and confidently.
Your support helps us create more content and reach more learners around the world.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We truly appreciate every single one of you.
Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and remember, your English is probably much better than you think it is.
We're cheering for you every step of the way.
Take care, stay motivated, keep speaking English, and we'll be back with another lesson very soon. See you next time.